Today, in the art of public speaking, we will know how you can become an expert in the art of public speaking. This book tells us how you can free yourself from your stage fright, and by using which methods you can influence a lot of people with your ideas. If you want to become a better public speaker, or want to learn how to influence people, or want to become a good leader, then this book is just for you. Author Dale Carnegie was an American author and lecturer. He taught people that how they can improve themselves, how they can sell something, and how they can become experts in the art of speaking. Even today, even after 100 years, people like his books very much. Joseph Berg Essenwein J.B. Essenwein was an American editor, lecturer, and author. He is known for having contributed to the world's best library of literature. The Art of Public Speaking Book Summary in Hindi. Why you should read this book in today's time. The world is in great need of leaders. We need people who can work to make our society better than before. We need those people who can build a better business and bring good products to the market which will benefit people. But to be able to do all this, they will have to become experts in the art of public speaking. Take any successful person in the world, he has the power to influence many people simultaneously. But many people start trembling at the mere mention of the stage. Everyone wants to be successful, but this is the fear that makes even the greatest of people nervous when they go to fight. This book is the solution to this fear of yours. It tells you how you can become an expert in the art of public speaking. If you want to know how you can learn public speaking, or how you can improve your voice by doing throat and lung exercises, or if you want to know how to impress your listeners in a crowd, why is it important to collect? Then keep reading this book's summary further. To become a better public speaker, you need to think about yourself instead of thinking about yourself. Have to think about the topic. We all do not learn to drive by reading books. If any person has to learn to drive a car, he learns by driving it, and almost everyone falls from it at least once. In the same way, if you want to learn public speaking, you will have to go in front of people and speak. You will definitely make mistakes in the beginning, but they happen to everyone. It is from those mistakes that you learn to speak better. Even the world's great public speakers felt nervous when they went on stage for the first time. But becoming a public speaker does not mean that you should not be afraid. This means that you should know how to control that fear. Now, you might be wondering how you can become free from your fears. For this, you can adopt 3 methods. First of all, stop thinking about yourself and think about your given topic. Many people, as soon as they go on stage, start wondering what people are thinking about them or whether they are looking bad. Don't think about all this and concentrate on your message, which is reaching you people have come to deliver. After this, prepare your talk in advance. Many people go on stage without preparation and then forget what they had to say. In this way, they start getting more nervous. Therefore, always memorize and practice your speech. After this, when you finally go to speak, expect that you will actually be successful in speaking. Maintain your humility. Put your fears aside and speak with an open mind. Everyone speaks poorly in the beginning, but after practicing for some time, everyone starts speaking well. Emphasize the important words of your statement by not speaking in a monotonous tone. While listening to songs, you must have noticed that different tunes are used in them. Just think, how would your favorite song sound if it only had one kind of tune and one singer, sung in just one tone? If anything shows only one quality completely, then it does not look beautiful. Imagine if the world was colored in only one color. How would it look if everything around you was white? How would it look? What is meant to be said here is that while speaking, never speak in such a way that the listener thinks that you are saying something in vain. Keep changing your tone as per the need and focus on the important parts of your sentence. For example, if you want to say that success is not due to your luck, but the result of your actions, then here you should identify some important words of this sentence, like success, luck, actions, and result. Now, you should say these important words with a little emphasis, so that these words sounded different from other words. But being assertive doesn't mean you have to shout it out. This means saying it differently, so that the listener understands that the word is an essential word in the sentence. If you were speaking loudly, say those important words slowly. If you were speaking softly, say those words out loud. Or you try to say it differently in your style so that it sounds different from other words. There are 3 ways to express the important part of your point in a different way. The first is to change your speech. The second is to change the speed of your speaking. And the third is to pause and speak for some time. When we are telling something funny, we speak fast. And when we are talking about some beautiful moments, we speak slowly. This makes our tones different. After this, if you pause for some time just before or just after saying your important thing, then that thing will sound different from the rest. Or if you start your sentence by speaking at a fast pace and then say it slowly at the end. If you speak, it will also sound different. Like this. With this, you can make your speech attractive. A person who creates emotions among his people through his words is very good. There is a speaker. Man always succumbs to his emotions. This is the thing that adds color to our life and makes it beautiful. If you can somehow create an emotion inside your listeners, they will start liking you a lot. That's why people go to watch more comedy shows and watch less documentaries, because comedy creates a feeling of happiness. Not only this, even in sales, when we pay more attention to the customer's emotions, we are able to sell our products easily. People don't buy a new iPhone because it's good. iPhone does not offer any feature that Samsung or Oppo or Vivo do not offer. But if iPhone and other smartphones are placed in front of you, then chances are high that you will choose iPhone. Why? Because people feel that using it will lower their status. Goes. Emotions run our lives. So if you can somehow control emotions, you can control people's hearts. In what ways can you create emotion in people? In simple words, by practicing, you will have to completely dive into whatever topic you are speaking on. Let it reside in your soul and immerse yourself completely in it. When actors prepare for their roles, they completely get into the character to create emotions in it. A few hours before the shooting, he locks himself in a room and keeps practicing for just one scene. In this way, they are able to create emotions in the viewers and win their hearts. If you also want to do this, then you will also have to prepare your topic well. Along with speaking, you also have to pay attention to your gestures. Gesture means moving your hands and body according to your speech while speaking. These are gestures by which people can understand what you are saying very well. You will also need practice to become expert in this. First of all, don't try to force them out. The gesture should come out of you on its own, and if you try to force it out, people will immediately know that it is fake. But this does not mean that you cannot practice it. To improve the gesture, you can practice it again and again. It is not necessary that you practice each gesture the same way and use it the same way every time. Sometimes this is not even possible. This should come out of you on its own from time to time. If you listen to a promising speaker giving the same speech twice, you will notice that his delivery keeps changing. After this, you will have to pay attention that the gestures coming out of you are not related to your speech, and whether eating matches with your tone or not. Many times we make such gestures which are very looks bad. For this, you can practice it by looking in the mirror. You see which gestures look good, which ones can be improved, and which ones you need to remove. With time, you will get used to it and will be able to do it better. The most important thing here is that those gestures should come naturally from within you. Using fake gestures is exactly like painting the dried plants in your garden with green color. The more you practice it, the easier it will become for you. Apart from this, people start getting distracted by making too many gestures. Remember that you don't move your hands or your body excessively. Also, on your facial expressions, please pay attention. To improve your voice, take care of your throat and lungs. When we speak, air from our lungs travels to our throat so that sound comes out. In other words, when we speak, there is pressure on our lungs, and speaking too loudly for a long time can cause chest pain. Therefore, it is important that you take good care of your lungs and your health. The author knew a public speaker who practiced speaking while running. This allowed more air to enter his lungs and exercised him so that he could speak for a longer time on stage. If you want, you can adopt this method, or you can also do exercise in another way, which is given below. First of all, place your hands on your waist and touch the fingers of one hand with the fingers of the other hand. Try to touch. With this, you are compressing your lungs so that all the air comes out. Has been. After this, without raising your shoulders, inhale. Repeat this again and again. Apart from lungs, your throat is also very important to be able to speak well. To do this exercise, fix your neck and rotate your chest left and right. While doing this, tilt your head forward. This will give relief to your throat. To open your throat, open your mouth and try to speak by keeping it completely open. This will improve the quality of your voice. But a good voice does not just mean that it should be loud. This also means that it should be clear and that the people sitting behind the stage should also be able to hear you clearly and clearly. If your voice is clear, people will be able to understand you well, even if you whisper. To do this, put your hand near your mouth and say these words out loud. Say the words crash, dash, wheel, buzz, until you feel their vibrations on your hands. Gather your listeners in a crowd so that you can convey your message to the people better. Have you ever seen that in a seminar, one person claps and then all the people suddenly start clapping? Has it ever happened to you that everyone in your group suddenly starts looking up and you also start looking up at the same time? This quality of humans is called contagion, which in Hindi means thoughts of a person. Or the disease reaching other people, it simply means the spread of something. This means that if you gather your listeners in one group, you can easily convey your ideas to them. The infection of thoughts spreads very quickly in a crowd. If a person in a crowded place suddenly starts shouting, "Fire, fire, run, run," everyone will start running like crazy. So if you want everyone to hear your ideas, don't make them sit in isolation. Give it. Gather them all in one crowd. To do this, first of all, go to those people sitting separately and talk about their needs, fears, and feelings. Once those people sitting separately start feeling that there are like-minded people sitting here, they will join the crowd and listen to you carefully. But many people do not believe that when sitting in a crowd, all people think in the same way. If you still have any doubts on this matter, then take a look at this example from history. In the 19th century, the Soviet government imposed a rule that no one would gather anywhere. They were afraid that if all the people started coming together, then the desire to rebel against the government would suddenly start spreading, and they might have to face a strike. Therefore, you will have to develop within yourself the ability to gather crowds, because in this, there is power with which governments can be brought down. Increase your debating power. Many times we say such things which we have difficulty in proving. Sometimes we start giving our opinion, and many people do not accept that opinion. Therefore, it is very important that whatever you say, you also have the power to prove it. Otherwise, what you say can be used against you. Also, if you are not able to prove your point, people will not trust you. Apart from this, if you ever have an argument with someone, you should also know how to respond to his/her words. It is important to both prove your point and argue with others. Therefore, you will also have to learn how you can prove your point correct, and you will also have to learn how you can prove your opponents wrong. For this, you will have to pay attention to 4 things: the thing that is being debated, the evidence to prove that thing, what else can be meant by that thing, and the results of that thing. With the help of the 8 questions given below, you can, by paying attention to these aspects, they can do both the jobs. To better understand what is being debated, ask yourself whether it has been stated clearly. The second question to ask yourself is whether whatever has been said completely. Has complete information been given? Is there something missing in that information? After this, Look at the evidence to prove that point. Ask yourself this question: which expert has not said that thing? Is the person really an expert? Can he or she think clearly? The second question to ask is, are all the facts being considered? Are all the facts saying the same thing, or are they different? Are they true? Are there facts in it, or is it someone's opinion? After this comes the turn to understand what other meanings that thing can have. On the basis of the facts on which that thing is being said, can't it have some other meaning? The second question is what you are saying. What can be said to prove him wrong? After this, finally comes what could be the consequences of what has been said. In this, you ask yourself whether you have said something which is not based on evidence. And the second question is all the evidence pointing to the same thing? Tell your listeners a story so they can imagine. Most people don't like information, numbers, and statistics. People do not enjoy knowing how many people died due to smoking or drinking alcohol in the last 10 years. If you put too much information in your topic, it will seem completely dry. To make it interesting, you have to make it fun. Use stories to make anything fun. When we listen to stories, we start imagining things. We start going to different places in our mind, and thus we listen more carefully to what the speaker is saying. Therefore, if you tell people about the harm caused by this through the story of an alcoholic, then people will listen to it much better. You tell them how that person used to drink alcohol every day, fight with his wife, and beat his children. Stories like this play with people's emotions and keep them glued to you. After this, you also use your imagination. While preparing your speech, imagine that many people are sitting in front of you to listen to you, and they are listening to you. Try to think about how you will speak in front of them and what their expressions will be after listening to you. Once you can clearly see your audience in front of you in your mind, imagine what gestures you will use when speaking to them. Think about what effect that gesture will have on your listeners. How will you say your sentences? The work of public speaking is also like the work of a poet or writer. If you can create images in people's minds through your words, you can also become a good public speaker. Conclusion. Like every art, the art of public speaking can also be learned by practicing. On stage, before leaving, prepare your topic well and also take good care of your health. Keep it so that you can speak well for a long time. Create emotions in people through your words. Try to do it. You can become better at it by practicing well every day. What to do? 91. Increase your knowledge of words. If you have lots of words to use, your speech will be better than before. With this, you will be able to explain your thoughts in a better way. Therefore, from now on, if you read any book, note down the words in it which are new to you and then use them in your speech. So friends, today's The Art of Public Speaking book summary in Hindi. How was it, friends? Do you also dream of becoming a great public speaker? If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know by